This spooky, scary story is about the Ancient Ais people. Long before Christopher Columbus found his way to the Americas in 1492, and even before the Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de Leon discovered the Treasure Coast in 1513, this area of Florida was occupied by two native peoples named Ais and Jaega. Reports say that these natives have been on the land since 800 BCE, and that is nearly 3,000 years ago. So how can reports say this when there were no eyewitnesses handing down these stories of the ancient Ais people? Well, there were plenty of remnants left behind that helped piece a lot of stories together. So these are important to the history of the Treasure Coast that map and refer to the land of the Ais, which is a body of water that weaves through the land, known today as Indian River, once called Rio de Ais. The Ais people were extremely brilliant. After they ate the animals and shellfish, they put the leftover bones and shells in a pile and covered it with sand and dirt. They did this over and over again until they formed large mounds called middens. It is reported that in a separate area, quote unquote, separate is the key word, they also piled bodies of their fellow tribes people who had passed away and formed burial mounds. Now the middens became so large that they towered high above the ground, so much that the Ais would build shelters on top to protect them from flooding. It also gave them an area to perform religious rituals and ceremonies. They believed that being high off the ground would get them closer to the gods they worshipped, while in turn connecting them to their ancestors and departed loved ones that were no longer with them. Still to this day, many middens are left, and they are ripe with hauntings that the Ais had some elaborate and extreme ceremonies that people might call today as witchcraft. The Ais believed that people had three souls within them: in the pupil of their eyes, the shadow they cast on the ground, and in the reflections they made when standing over water. The Ais people also believed that the soul in the all-seeing eye would exist even after perishment, passing, unalivement. Some of their ceremonies would include looking the deceased in the eye to gain knowledge, and the two souls they believed were transferred to animals even when those animals eventually passed. Souls would transfer again to smaller animals. If a member of the tribe became ill, the people thought this meant one of their souls escaped, and they consult a tribe doctor to help restore it, a shaman, witch doctor, however you want to call it. We can in turn look at our own funerals that we hold today for our loved ones that pass away. In the Ais people tribe, when someone passed, the ceremonies that followed were very important as a part of the Ais life. They believed that the spirits were always around them, and that Ais wanted to make sure that their loved ones safely made their journey to the afterlife. And at that time, with their knowledge, that's how they wanted to send them off in their way. And how we, send our loved ones off now, we do kind of celebrate in a very sad way. One story has been passed down that once a burial mound was large enough, one of the elder tribesmen would stand on top of it and shoot an arrow into the sky. Where the arrow landed determined where to build the next mound. They'd then take the body that had just passed and lay it in the new spot, covering it with some sand taken from the original mound. But the emotion, the energy, we all kind of drive to get through it. And it's a lot of energy that still remains in these places where the mounds are held as far as the Ais people are concerned. It's said that if you get close to where a mound once was built, you can feel the eeriness like an Ais was watching over you on their sacred land. It is said that once you get close to some of those mounds, the wind starts to really pick up and you can hear the faint sound of crying steel in the howls. Now, the Ais people lived in a great number on the Treasure Coast until about 1750, until the European settlers arrived and brought with them diseases like smallpox. With no real immunity for that type of disease, this was new to them, and many tribes people passed away, instantly. There were too many battles between the tribes people and the Europeans, but the Ais people that survived and were not unalived in a battle were often enslaved by the Europeans. So this changed a lot of traditions. This changed a lot of ways that the Ais people lived and affected their community. And a lot of them didn't live a peaceful ending. And this was like a sad part to their life because they had a lot of sorrow for the ones that came on the land, and Treasure Coast was really theirs. And people just started stepping over their burials, and it just started to really kind of dismantle as a nation of the Ais people. With all the hauntings, it is now known to believe that the Ais people still roam to keep a watchful eye on their land. It is really truly believed that this area is haunted because they put their mark on it, the Treasure Coast, that being nearly 3,000 years ago. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Then fly.